interested in, we call them do-gooders on the planet, but they were interested in helping the world and went to Africa and saw things. So you can follow that on YouTube. But then they got into this inoculation, and here we are now, 20, 40 years later, after we all are into Microsoft and him making tons of money. Of course, he's been beat out by Amazon, but the thing is, they got interested in helping in the medical world and helping all these starving children or women that were having. They got into controlling the population and helping people save their children that they already had. So now we're all looking, long term as, well, they make the problem or see a problem and make the solution, but they still tend to gain from they're going to help the people in these countries, not just Africa, but India now with those little, you can look all this up, this is public knowledge on YouTube, where they stamped them like in Nazi times where they had those numbers on the Jews, which I still don't know what those were for. I don't know if you did, but there's a good book for you. But comparing that with what they're doing to everybody in the countries that they do not like Americans. We're privileged here. We're born, we have a birth certificate, and we're given a social security number, which sort of shocked me because when I was growing up, I didn't, I had a birth certificate. I can look at it right now. I keep it near me now because of Homeland Security. I had a time going from Kentucky to Florida. You move from one state to another, you're going to find out what a country and why your information is so important. But in other countries, they don't have that. So they don't have a birth certificate. So, they don't really have decent names or ways to keep up with inoculations. So I guess if the Gates are going to put money into these people and these babies, they want to know where their money's going to save these beings. So it's almost like they're marking them now. And as far as you can look it up, these little tiny snap little needles that are going to inoculate all the babies born, and inside them have other codes too. And I haven't, there's some YouTubes out there, just follow Bill Gates or Bill and Melinda Gates or all of that and look into it because that's the wave of the future. Everybody being born is going to belong to somebody, or somebody put money into them or save their lives with their country. So the people with all the money can go into these countries and line up all the people. Here, David and I are just talking about you being here in America writing your own book. You can be in another country. I know you guys listen to me. I don't know if you'll find me on self-help, but this is just one of many talk shows I'm going to do to help other people. But, we're supposed to be privileged and ahead of the curve here in America. That's why I asked David in the beginning, was he proud to be an American? Because we have a lot of things going on to be alive. So there's no reason for us to sit home and not be doing something, especially in cyberspace, when we're basically the country that created it, as far as I know.
Well, I think both of us are of that generation of, we just don't sit around. I mean,
yeah.
My grandfather was the same way. I mean, he was always busy doing something, even though he was retired. You'd say, oh, yeah, I'm retired. He got out of the TV repair business, okay, and he retired. But he still did, projects around the house. He would do this, he would do that. He was always doing something, and that something was usually always productive. I say I'm retired, but yet, let's put it this way: I'm retired from all of the businesses that I first started out working in my grandfather's TV repair shop, and then and I've also learned, I was also working, sometimes as many as 2 and 3 different jobs at a time, just because I could, and sometimes because I needed to. Again, it was, sometimes need versus, want. I always learned new things along the way with every industry that I worked in. So, yeah, at this point in time, it's like, so what if I'm retired? I mean, I'm still running a business. So, but I'm also of that philosophy of, if I can't have a good time doing what I'm doing, then it's time to find something else to do. So I'm always, I will joke and kid around a lot about what I do, and because it also takes pressure off of the job. because I'm also that firm believer of if you enjoy what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. And I learned that a long time ago. And I go, my gosh, it's true. No matter what job somebody gives you, if you can't find fun in it, then it's time to find something else to do. And I've always followed those
We only have so
two.
many seconds. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Perfect philosophy. If you're going to work, and that's just it. I don't believe in work. I believe in doing a good job, number one. And I also enjoy, I have to enjoy it. But then again, I've worked for, bosses that would go out of their way just to make that job miserable. And I'd still find, fun and humor in it. And it would drive that boss up the wall. And that sometimes was the thing that would change it. Okay, he doesn't want me to have fun with it, and it's going to, okay, fine. I'm going to do this and have fun with it and just watch him, drive that person up the wall. And then after a while, they finally stop and they say, oh, I'll just let him do whatever he's going to do. And then it makes it much better for everybody else I was working with, and that's just it. Again, you talk about, teams, which we talked about a little bit a while ago. Yeah. I'm also a firm believer of you put people who know what they're doing, how they're going to do it. They almost know, as they say, they finish each other's sentences for each other, That's teamwork, where you know what the person that you're working with is going to do and say next. And you don't have to sit down and hammer out a plan because you've already done it. And you do it over and over and over and over, and you become, basically that well-oiled machine in the process.
Well, I've got people too that want me to help them free, and I guess this is free, helping people on listening, whether you want to make money at home or not. But if you want to just get on Google Chrome Store and look what all they've got, you can look at all the apps, just like the kids do, GitHub, GitLab. I don't know what you guys look at, Google Keep, Google Calendar, Outlook 365. Just look at what they've got out there, not just the games, but things to do to help you. There's different ways you make money with Google and Outlook and Google Docs and podcasting, and put all that together, and then maybe you'll find some, stock music and some stock photos you want to put together on YouTube or on your Wiz or Wix or whatever. They have free ways to make videos out there. But, if you decide you want to get some help, then come to us or join our little club or whatever. But I'm going to start learning more, and I think I enjoy learning. So I'm going to always be learning. So I'm going to be on here, and we're getting close to the time, but I've got a tracking time button on my radio show, and then we can put it in productivity. Now, you can get it at your extension at your Chrome web store, and I suggest a lot of my friends are using Zoom Scheduler, Office, Google Translate. Those are the top ones on your Google Chrome store. But start getting familiar with what so many of us around the world are doing. It doesn't matter if you're not working, if you're not doing podcasts, if you're not blogging. You can go to Blogger, sign up for a free blogger just to get your writing chomps on, just brainstorm. You don't have to write anything in particular and go back and look at it. You can edit it right on Blogger. But Google has helped a lot of people get into the Internet, and there's all kind of tools to get you involved. So look at all the free stuff. And then when you start wanting to make some money and getting good at it, and then you can also be, like I said, an affiliate, or you can join our group for training. We're going to have webinars and training classes and help you on Skype. Skype is free. Of course, I say $6.35 or $12 come out a month because I talk to people around the world, but you don't have to have a phone number. But come look and see what other people are using in their resources, and if you need it. And then I've got a Patreon account, and you can make you one. If you're an artist, author, or radio show host, domain is Patron, Patron, they call you a patriot or Patreon customer, put what you do on there, Patron. And it's for me, it's patreon.com/join/ and I use Theresa J Morris because there were so many Theresa Morrises. I found out that traveling the world and going to casinos for 20 years. So lots of Theresa Morrises. And hopefully someday I'm going to learn to be a comic. We may have it where I have one show a week, or if I get brave enough where you can do stand-up comic, because it's not easy being a comic either, but you never know when you want to go to a show. But we don't have one of those. We didn't have them in Kentucky either, but where you can go do some stand-up comic. What would you call that, David? Let's say, you were in theater, weren't you?
Well, I was in stagecraft, and I would eventually, I would do more. I started getting to the point where I was directing more, and I would still work in the booth and do lights or whatever, which was mostly what I enjoyed doing the most.
Behind the scenes, huh?
I like the guy. I want to be the guy who shines the spotlight on somebody else and makes them look good. That's where the satisfaction comes from me.
Well, that's like being a publicist for people out in California or New York. But also, if you just want to help writers, and then a lot of our people, just so you know, the events tie in. If you're anime or Comic-Con person or a paranormal person or a UFO person, see, that's how it ties into my radio. And I'm just going to tell you right now, there's something wrong with your picture sideways, and I didn't do that. The one you sent me, David, is sideways, and I can't get it off of my radio show now. And I know you did. It looks straight up, but when it flipped itself, and I can't get it off. So these are questions you need in technical support, folks, but there isn't one at Blog Talk Radio. So when you hit the episode, I've erased it. I took it down off of the show tonight. But if you see it right now when I'm looking at my upcoming, it's got David's picture. I like the one with your beard and glasses. Is that older or younger? You look good.
That was older. Oh, I only had a mustache back then when that one was taken, that I used for my profile picture on LinkedIn.
That was older or younger now? Which one?
Well, it was when I was younger.
Okay, well, what's the one with the green? That you don't even have.
That was today. That was
well,
today.
You just look younger now. That's weird. You just took that one?
Yeah.
That's strange, but you don't have any glasses or beard. But you look much. Isn't that weird? Yeah. But I guess that's for a lot of people.
I had cataracts. I had cataract surgery, son. So now I don't have to wear glasses when looking at things close up. Before I had to, because I was farsighted. Now they changed. They put these implants in the lenses that save me from having to wear my glasses. 90% of the time. So
all right.
Before, I always had to wear glasses.
Well, folks, look at affiliate marketing, because you can pick up whatever it is that you want to talk about on your podcast and then sell it on your domain. And if you want a domain, come to me or David, and I'm going to throw up some WordPresses. But, Dave, I've got you on TJ Morris Radio. I just threw that up. I buy domains for fun, folks, and create. But nowadays, with the SSL certificates being so expensive, I can't have 75 to 100. Neither can most people unless they're mega rich. But I am going to keep a few names up just for marketing purposes, or what we call educational entertainment in my business, because I do podcasting. But we're going into videos, and I'm going to be doing webinars, and hopefully David can come and do some for his industrial documents just to show what we can do. And I think we're going to get into some more videos, too, because that's what customers want. But I'm going to stick with David's I'm going to run 60 an hour because I got to make a little bit off of him. But I'll throw his prices up on TJ Morris Radio. But most everybody I worked with made 60 to 150 an hour. Janet makes 150, and our psychic readings are $1, $2, and $3 a minute, which I already told David. But we're going to get some co-prices up there to see if we can't run a weekly Talk Live Shows podcasting, and I bought that domain. I don't know if it's Talk Live Shows or Live Talk Shows. I bought one of them. But, David, you're on TJMorrisRadio.com. You're also on TJ Morris ET Radio and ACIR Radio. So I got you on the three brands that I own. And, of course, you're on blogtalkradio.com where this is live out of New York and reported